Give us a couple of steps, Spider.
What?
Welcome back. It's the Pete O'Shea Show. It's on Inspiration AM 1110 WTIS. I'm your buddy Pete. I got my pal Ivan. I got Larissa Ellen here with us in the studio right now.
Hello,
we just told her she's a dance instructor, but you do a lot of other things too. So you do audio and video. That night you were doing the audio for the event where I met you at the Alpha House.
Yes.
So you know anything audio visual. That's kind of what you do. Fill us in a little bit about that.
Pretty much, yes. I have a company right now called Exigo Entertainment, and we do a little bit of everything. The goal originally starting it was mainly geared towards weddings, so these brides could go to one company and get everything: their DJ, their videographer, photographer, and I have a little bit of background in like wedding planning and event planning, so I was going to help them with that. So right now it's kind of in a transition to where I'm doing a lot more audio work, which is my main expertise, and then some of my crew members are videographers and editors and stuff like that. So we're in a huge transition right now, new crew, kind of training new people, and we're going to be I'm trying to get campaigns going to kind of support the local artists, because there's a lot of people around my age and younger that are trying so hard to get out there and just do art. They're not even worried about the money or anything. They're just trying to do art, and they have no outlet. So I'm trying to find a way to do that for them. So we're going to be doing some campaigning for a local band called Perpendicular Parallels, and help them get on Facebook and do some video for them so that they can get out there, and of course offer our services and helping other artists get out there too. So it's a big transition.
So when you see somebody like that, a band, you say, okay, wow, I like kind of what they're doing. So this is a chance for you guys to showcase what you can do while you're showcasing what they can do at the same time, and sort of, kind of open up a trail basically for this group.
Exactly, because I mean, I call it artsy fartsy industries. They, we really have to be a team. I mean, connections are everywhere. You really have to help each other out. So I see so many people that are so solo involved, and they struggle so much, and their heart is in the right place. They only are thinking about themselves. And I've been there myself, where I feel like, I have to only think about how it's going to benefit me, and it's not the case. You need people to help. It's just like human nature. We need that interaction. So why not take something, especially since St. Pete has gotten so artsy, and there's musicians, there's painters, there's dancers, there's anything and everything here. It's developing so much. I would love to have an outlet to where they can showcase themselves. I'm
going to introduce you to Carla Bristol, who has an art gallery here in South St. Pete, and she also does spoken word almost every Saturday, and different artists and stuff there.
Awesome.
She's trying to do the same thing you are, So you is teaming up together. You really like her too. She's really cool.
Very cool.
Because I see the same thing you're seeing. This is a rich, vibrant area for art. Again, let's just take spoken word for a second. I didn't know much about it till about a year or so ago, but now I know 3 or 4 different spoken word artists who are tremendous, who are phenomenal, and they got this great heart and passion. And then again, it's a new way to express yourself, and it's
absolutely.
a way we're not really tuning into. So again, as a radio talk show host, and we got to help those people. We got to lift them up, and together showcase what everybody can do in His name.
Absolutely. And I was the type where I didn't have the connections. I came out of nowhere and not sure how to do it, and I want to give other people hope that they can, because I kind of came out of that little hole of, all right, freaking out, how am I going to do this, how am I going to get out there, how am I going to just make something beautiful, and I just kind of had to push through it as much as I can, and now I'm starting to get the help. So now that I can get the help for myself, now I can give the help to others as well, because there's so many good visual people, there's so many artists out there, there's so many people that are changing that curve from wanting to do it just for the money and wanting to do it just to make something beautiful. And I just value that so much.
Let's talk about that for a second. Again, when you put a price on art, when you put a price on it, it sometimes kind of dilutes it a little bit.
It does.
And when we sort of compete too, who has the best this or the best that, even like things like the Grammys and the Emmys, I don't like those things in that, because I want it to be about the art.
Right.
I want it to be about the expression. I want it to be about, I just made something beautiful, you just made something beautiful, and let's look at it, and let's enjoy it. Let's really enjoy it. And that kind of gets lost in the world we live in right now, doesn't it?
It does, and I'm seeing it more and more. And not that I'm old, but the older I get, the more and more I see it, where people they're so, don't get me wrong, we have to live comfortably. We have to have funds coming in. But and I have the greatest boss in the world, because he also has that value where it's, we do need this for business, but we can take that extra to make our students better. I can't tell you how many times, just because we had a performance coming up, my student wasn't feeling good about their routine, that I said, all right, I'm going to work 2 extra hours, no charge, let's get it done. And they were just so happy with it, and they showed it off to their family, their in-laws, everybody, because they just
so how cool is that? That's the payoff. That's the payoff for it.
That's what the payoff is. My goal in life is, if I can comfortably pay my bills, I'm good to go. Now the goal is to make something meaningful that somebody else can look at it and say, oh, I can do that too, or I can go out there and do something random and artsy and feel like I did something good.
Well, some of your dances were just in competition this past weekend,
they
right?
Were
so
at
you
the
got
Tampa
a chance
Classic.
to go, and tell me about what that's like as the coach.
Wow, it was amazing. This was my first time actually coaching with my studio, so I was a little bit nervous, but and of course my students were nervous. My gentle lads are a little bit too shy to get on the dance floor. My ladies are fearless, and it's bing, bang, boom. I mean, you really don't have a second to breathe. I would have one of my students, Gina, come out, and she would go and do a samba, and then I have to prep the next lady before she goes on, then they'd switch, and then Marianne would go on and be doing a foxtrot, and then I would have to prep Mary Beth for her rumba. So it was just one right after another all day long. I think it started about 8 a.m., went till about, I think awards were at like 9 or 10 o'clock that night. So it was just so many hours, just constantly, okay, let's check your outfit. Let's go over this step again. Let's make sure your arms are
How
right.
does my outfit look right now?
It looks fantastic.
Okay.
You need a little bit more bling.
A little more bling. I'm not a bling guy.
A little more bling.
Look at Ivan go, no bling. Do not.
You got your bedazzled shirt at home.
Yeah, you forgot my bedazzled.
Bedazzled, yeah. So.
All that I'm hearing from you, and all I know from you also too, is that again, this is about your heart. This is a vocation and a passion for you. This isn't a job. This is really something that's from your heart, and it also goes back to your personal relationship with the Lord and the giftings He's given you and your desire to want to help others and give back, right?
Yes, He's been, and I'm not going to say I'm the perfect person, but I do try to go out there and be a good person as I can. In the last couple of years, even though it's been a struggle, I'm seeing professionally He's blessed me very much. I have a great job. I'm not a millionaire, but I absolutely adore it, because I worked hospitality a lot of years. Met a lot of nasty people.
Who? What are their names? Who was nasty to you? Tell me their names.
Oh, goodness gracious. I could tell you stories. Really quickly, one story. The one that sticks out in my mind is I had a gentleman. I was working in a hotel out on Treasure Island Beach, and I had a gentleman come in that was threatening to take my job because the bed in the room was not on the side of the room that he normally wakes up on.
So that's your fault.
That was my fault.
And you're going to get fired for that.
I was getting fired because we could not switch the bed for whatever reason, and he just went crazy. So to not have to deal with stuff like that every day is a blessing in itself.
But you're looking at it the right way. So again, it's a blessing to be able to do this vocation, this thing you love.
It is.
And to not have to worry about somebody yelling at you because the bed's on the wrong side,
Right. I mean, with every job, even if it's your passion, there are going to be stresses, but I find it worth it. Now that's where the difference is, and I'm so glad that I'm so young, that I've gotten into it so young, that now I can build and go as long as I hopefully that I can.
So for a wedding or something, if somebody is looking to get the whole package in one, can they still get that from you right now?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So how do they get in touch with you? How do they learn more about what you do?
Right now, we do, my old Facebook, everything is up. There's some incorrect information on there, so we're going to be relaunching new Facebook, Twitter, all that good stuff, all the social media on it, and what new website as well. Pretty much, I guess that's the way to the world now, is to go through online and everything.
Sure, yeah.
So probably in the next month or so, they would be able to see all the updated information on that.
Okay.
Hopefully sooner. The goal is sooner, but definitely by the end of the month.
I like that you're helping other people. I like your passion. I like how you see the world, and you're a person of faith who's really strong in your desire to serve others, and I really like that about you, and I'm proud of you for that.
Thank you. Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm very, very fortunate to met you and everything, and I know it's kind of one of those random moments just out of nowhere. And
There's no such thing as random. And
I'm starting to feel that way now, especially living in St. Pete. There's no random anymore.
Coincidence also is a ridiculous word that should be flung from the English language, because there is no such thing. And so God puts the right people in your path all the time. So I'm sure that means that we'll be